Hello and welcome. Debbie Gilbert here from the Best Business Women Awards, and today I'm joined by Cathy Ayers, partner at Cleveland Scott York. They're an intellectual property lawyer company based in Hatfield, and we're delighted to have Cathy with us today. They sponsor the Best Customer Service category and have done for the last 5 years. So welcome, Cathy. Good morning.
Thank you.
So tell us about what Cleveland Scott York do.
Well, Cleveland Scott York, as you said, we're intellectual property lawyers, but the phrase intellectual property is a bit dry and doesn't really sum up what we do, which is basically protect the intellectual capital in your business. That means protecting your good name and protecting all the innovations you make so that other people can't rip you off. Okay. I myself am a brand protection specialist, so I deal with people's trademarks mainly. Protecting them from people who come too close, getting protection in place all around the world. It's a fascinating job.
So do you get people that come to you who are new businesses and want to get this straightened from the start, as well as businesses that have realised they should have protected this a long time ago?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a whole range of clients, from startups through to people who probably haven't protected their intellectual property as early as they should have done. Those tend to have the most expensive bills. And then all the way up to, the very highly organised companies who are completely on every aspect of intellectual property. A lot of companies, when you think about them nowadays, don't have very much in their business apart from their intellectual property. And so they're incredibly hot on making sure that's protected to the utmost degree.
And so how long have you been in intellectual property law yourself?
This is 30 years this year,
which
goodness. Seems incredible, doesn't it?
Don't old enough. That's amazing. What changes have you seen in the industry over the last 30 years then? That's fascinating.
Well, it's all become so much more professional and slick, and obviously modern communications have changed the world dramatically for us. One thing that intellectual property is all about is deadlines, and obviously it's much easier to meet deadlines with modern communication systems. Does tend to mean people tend to leave things more to the last minute though. So when I started, nobody had a PC on their desk, nobody had even heard of email. We were using telex machines to send messages overseas in relation to urgent matters. You'd actually physically have to take a message to a person who would log it in a machine for you. It's all, everything was so laborious and time consuming. I'm so grateful we don't still live in that era, basically.
So Cleveland Scott York got involved with the awards 5 years ago and have always sponsored the Best Customer Service category every year since then. So what was the thought process behind getting involved with the Female Business Awards from you as a company? Why did you want to get involved?
Yeah, well, it seemed a really unusual thing to do. I mean, I think, Debbie, Women's Business Women's Awards are not thick on the ground, are they? Mm. So, and a lot of people we knew and liked were involved already. And obviously that encourages you to get involved. But once we were involved, we were kind of hooked, really, because there are so many things about the awards which make them, a fantastic thing to be involved in. There's the amazing women who we see who win the awards and who enter. They're an inspiration in themselves. There's the fact that the awards are organised so well, everything is so slick. And then there's the fabulous party at the end. It really is, all in all, it's a fantastic experience. And it's something we've been delighted to be part of. Oh. Customer service is something which is important to us, obviously, as a professional services business. And it's great to see what people are doing to go the extra mile to make their clients feel wanted and to deliver an excellent service. So it really resonates with our business, and it's been a fantastic thing to be involved in.
So as a judge of the best customer service, what sort of things are you looking for people to share in their entry?
Well, first of all, I should say you've got to look at Debbie's masterclasses, because there's so much in there. If you are starting an awards entry without watching your masterclass first, then you're going to be really in real trouble. One thing I have seen is that people, I think customer service is an awards category where if you're a very relatively new business, it's really hard to make an impact. You do need some kind of longevity to show how you've built up your customer service over the years, how you manage complaints effectively. and the kind of processes you have in place. Really difficult to do that when you're quite new. I find that people enter more than one category, and they tend to recycle the same entry for each category. But that's a real mistake to do that when you're doing the customer service category, because you really do need the extra information in there to show everything about your customer service from start to finish. You really need those extra words.
Yeah, and I mean, you're looking for people that go above and beyond, rather than, you know, the routine of people put in entries, things like I call my customers back within 24 hours, or things like the actual standard. They're not excelling. That's what you would expect a business to do. So I guess what you really want them to share with you is, what are they doing over and above what their competitors are doing? What makes their customer service stand out?
Yeah, the most effective way to do that really is through testimonials and case studies. You know, any other awards they've won as well. All of those things obviously are very powerful, and it's obviously an incredibly good reason for entering awards in the first place, in that once you've got awards, you're more likely to get awards. It sort of starts a virtuous circle going, and I mean, we've seen that with loads of your winners, haven't we, Debbie?
Yeah, definitely. And I think, as I said, we had a quick chat before the interview, and I was talking about Davina Steele, who, you know, she wanted some new business awards because she was, you know, finding she was pitching to get her bakery goods into the big retailers, but didn't have any awards. And actually, that's what she needed to actually have that external validation from people like yourself, who've looked at her business, looked at her entry, and validated everything she's done. And I think the validation is what, you know, customer service is an incredible award to have. Absolutely incredible, because it gives you so much validation, even being a finalist, because it is, we get a lot of entries, don't we? And it is trying to sift through that and find those shining stars amongst that, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's not easy. So what advice would you give to people, you talked just briefly about testimonials, who are sort of sitting here thinking, don't know whether I should enter or not? I mean, what advice would you give them? How would they best approach this?
Well, if they've got the time, and that's one of the key points, that it does take quite a lot of time to enter. If they've got the time, then they should definitely do it. Your entry fee obviously is peanuts, really, and it involves them doing a 360-degree appraisal of their business, which is a really vital thing to do anyway. And it may actually reveal areas which they actually want to go ahead and tackle as a business. And so quite separately from the whole entering the awards thing. You know, it needs the time, but if you've got the time, then do it, because the process is entirely positive. And as you say, even if you get a finalist status, you get the feeling that you're doing something right, and that you might want to go back again next year and do something, you know, knock the lights out even further, and get an improved entry in and win the category. You know, it's a fantastic feeling. Every single winner that I've given an award to on the night is absolutely over the moon. It's not like they're going, oh yeah, oh all right then, that's another one, or whatever. They're not. They're absolutely buzzing. It's such an amazing feeling. And obviously, when you follow them on social media afterwards, you can see that they're using the award in a positive way. You know, they're able to talk about it on LinkedIn and Twitter, and it's just, you know, it's everything is positive. Yeah, exactly. So is there anything else that you feel you wanted to share that we haven't covered? Any other comments or observations? Yeah, as a judge, I have to say the weakest categories tend to be in relation to you know, providing the facts and figures. So many people just don't seem to provide the evidence, which is ridiculous when their company accounts are available online. And then people are not so good at talking about themselves. The first section is always, you know, tell us about yourself. People either veer off into the very personal, which obviously isn't appropriate because this is a business awards, or else they tend only to talk about the process of their business. They don't really give us that information about them, you know, what makes them tick, why they chose to set up the business and so on, you know, where they've come from, the journey they've had. And that tends to be a very weakly answered section. So, and then every section counts. So the more you can put in to impress us, the better.
And it's great to see good online testimonials as well and reviews, because I know Barbara, who was chosen as the winner last year, I mean, she had something like 100 and something Google 5-star Google reviews, and things like that really reinforce what's being said in the entries. And you do check that kind of thing, don't you? So you are looking at what that online footprint is like, what people are saying about a business.
Absolutely, yes. Looking at reviews, looking at testimonials, checking links on the websites, checking they add up. It's all looked at. I mean, it's lovely to be honest.
I was going to say, do you enjoy being a judge? Is it something
I really did enjoy it. It was just amazing. People's businesses. I mean, the disparate nature of the businesses. I mean, honestly, everyone from people who are providing colour consultations to people who are cleaning out rainwater tanks,
yes, that's right,
who are providing falconry services.
Yeah.
I mean, it just could not be more diverse, and it's so fantastic. I mean, I've got a 10-year-old daughter, and it's just amazing to talk to her about the people who are involved, because any sort of perceptions she might have about what sort of business a woman might do would be thrown out of the window, because everything is the answer. Everything.
Incredible.
But
we had a great mix last year, because Rachel Kempinski-Smith, who was one of the finalists, is literally a sole trader on her own, but what an incredible number of testimonials she had. And
I practically signed up as a client on the spot with her. I mean, I was doing the judging and thinking, this is amazing.
I know. And then it went through, like you said, to Eleanor, who does rainwater tank cleaning. I mean, you couldn't get two businesses more opposite. But Eleanor was very keen to have some recognition for her customer service, because, again, it might not sound like a competitive industry, but there are a number of companies in her industry doing that. And she wanted to have something that made her, head and shoulders above the others, because she did look after her customers really well. And of course, Barbara, who won the category, was doing skin camouflage for people who'd been injured in accidents. And very interesting business there as well. So we had quite a spectrum of companies in that category last year, and I'm sure we'll again this year.
Yeah, absolutely. The amazing thing with Babs, who won the category, was the amazing before and after photos, and also people saying that she'd absolutely changed their lives. Previously they'd not been able to go out of the house, basically, because of, I mean, for example, there was one woman who'd had an accident at work, and it really had damaged her face terribly. And with makeup, you wouldn't give her a second glance. And she was actually able to go out of the house for the first time in years. It's just incredible what she was able to achieve. It really brought a lump to your throat.
Yeah, and I think the amazing sensitive nature that Barbara has with handling people in this situation, I thought, because she was actually a lawyer herself, and retrained to do this, and she acts as expert witness in a lot of the cases that go to court from somebody who's been injured in an accident or been attacked. And I think those two things combined, and she said from the outset her whole ethos was about how to look after her customers. That was the heart of her business, and I wish more businesses thought that way, because we wouldn't have all these complaints going on, would we, out there? The businesses handle customers sometimes so terribly. I've certainly had a few bad experiences during the lockdown with companies, and you just think, oh dear, that's not a good email to send somebody. It's very strange. Well, it's been lovely to chat to you today. Thank you for joining us, because I know how busy you are. So is there anything else you want to add before we go?
Oh, I can't think of anything now.
I think you've covered it all.
I think that's it. But I just want to plead with people to enter. If you've got the time, if you can put the effort in, just enter. It's just relentlessly positive.
And also, if you're sitting there and you haven't protected your intellectual property in your business, give Cathy a call and have a chat with her about that, because
absolutely. But we're putting out a lot of more resources in terms of webinars and podcasts and so on. And certainly something I'm going to be doing soon is a podcast relating to startups and what they need to know in relation to IP. So that will hopefully be available for download fairly soon.
Oh, fantastic. That's great. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll see you at the final this year. And thanks for all the support that Cleveland Scott York give the awards. It's great.
No, it's my pleasure, Debbie. Thank you very much.
Thank you.